Okay, hello, good evening, everybody. I'm glad to welcome you at this free Beetroot Academy webinar dedicated to a very interesting and I would say important topic, which is artificial intelligence and how you can use it in your everyday tasks as project managers. My name is Veronica. I'm content developer at Beetroot Academy, and I will take just a few moments before we actually start the topic to remind you about the structure, some organizational issues, and then, of course, I will give the word back to Liana to present the general topic. So as for the structure of the webinar, I think we'll take up to 1 hour and a half, like something like that, presenting the topic and answering the questions. It may vary due to your questions or maybe your comments. So I think it will be 1 hour and a half roughly, but we shall see. The recording of the webinar you will receive to the email you used in the registration form. So please don't worry if you missed something or you think you will need some rewatch. You will have the recording and the presentation the speaker is using. So again, you will be able to rewatch some moments, maybe check out some tables or graphics or pictures. Everything will be sent to you. The webinar will have, let's say, two main parts. The first one will be the biggest, the topic itself. And the last part, the second, will be a Q&A session. So like it's classical. We'll have some time to answer your questions, both those that you've sent us beforehand, but also if you will have some questions during the webinar, during the event, you can use live chat and we shall have a small discussion and help you understand the topic even deeper. That is, I encourage you to use live chat. We'll have some interactions there, so please don't be shy. And if you feel at any point of the webinar that maybe Liana should repeat something or explain a concept better, again, don't be shy. Feel free to write in a live chat. We shall come back to that and we shall repeat everything you want. The last part, can you please say in the live chat, like, hey, hello, send pluses if you can see me, if you can hear me, if the internet connection is just all right. That's important, again, to have this event going. I hope you can see us, you can hear us, and everything will be just fine. Hey, all good. That's great. Okay, if there are any troubles with the connection and the sound, again, please feel free to mention that in the live chat so we can maybe fix something up. Well, I think I have nothing more to say, Liana. That's the point when I give you the word for you.
Thank you, Veronica. It's a great pleasure being here today. And hi, everyone, and thanks for joining this webinar. I'm also very excited to be speaking today about effective project management with artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to learn how to improve decision making and increase the success of your projects. And as it was told, my name is Liana Solkarian. I'm the senior project manager. I have over 12 years of professional experience in project management. I will just share a few words about myself. I started my career quite a long time ago in 2012. I took the leap and joined the first company, which was named Elephant Head Soft. I was junior manager. Frankly speaking, I never wanted and never dreamed in my life to start my career in IT. I never planned to do so, but suddenly it happened, and I'm quite happy about this. And to be honest, I changed couple companies. I'm happy that I had different experience in outsourcing companies and in product companies. And speaking today here on this webinar, I could just tell that it's making me quite excited because besides that I am a project manager, I'm also a professional speaker and a teacher of a project management and all related to IT topics. So happy to be joining this session and happy you to be present. And first of all, before we started, first question, do you guys ever used any artificial intelligence? If yes, please put plus or message in the live chat, and Veronica will be supporting with reading all the messages while I'm sharing the screen. It's interesting to know, for example, if you had such experience, if you experienced any of artificial intelligence tools? And if yes, you can also mention what kind of tools you used before and what kind of tools are known. And it's interesting also to receive information. Maybe you can share what you use it for. So please do not hesitate to use live chat and mention everything you think is important for me to understand who is behind the screen, listening to me and engaged in this conversation. Veronica, any responses we have today?
No, not for now at least.
No problem, guys. No problem, guys. I know maybe you are shy today, maybe you're feeling embarrassed, but don't worry. Today I'll be referring quite a lot to you in order to receive some collaboration and some activity from your side. It's very interesting to make interactive communication. So if you are not hesitating to write down something, I'll be really very happy to see your responses. But
yeah, we have a few, by the way, right now.
Please.
And those are, of course, ChatGPT. I think one of the most popular thing that comes to mind when we are mentioning like AI tools for work and for everyday life.
Okay, perfect. So you guys know ChatGPT. Generally, the topic we are speaking about today is artificial intelligence, but I used several tools to be prepared for this webinar, and that's why I want you to not worry. It will not be anything extremely extraordinary for you today, and I based many prompts which I created specifically on ChatGPT in order it will be much easier for you to understand how to use artificial intelligence in project management work. And goals of this webinar, it's to learn how to succeed in project management, to use artificial intelligence to achieve project goals, to show you how to optimize your work in collaboration with artificial intelligence, equip you with several working approaches to using AI with the help, and also to use it as a good assistant that never gets tired and does tasks quickly, and to share interesting life hacks to test your decision or plans. And I know it's quite hard to find a person nowadays who hasn't heard of artificial intelligence, especially people from IT industry. But why it's so popular and gaining momentum in use so quickly? I will just try to explain a few things. The possibilities of artificial intelligence are almost endless. So propose to consider the role of AI in the IT, namely how artificial intelligence can help in project management as well. And in generally, the popularity of artificial intelligence in IT is explained by its ability to increase productivity, solve complex tasks, which you might see in your real life, in your working procedures, and a significant impact on the development of manufacturing, development on IT, and different structures in general. And please, if you paid attention that I'm moving my head here and there, don't worry. I have my presentation on one of my sides, so sometimes I'm not looking at a camera, which is from right side of me, but looking in my notes and my presentation. That's why if I'm not looking directly, please do not be worried. I'm not going to be distracted today. So let's speak a little bit about AI evolution. Please be prepared. I will be asking you today a few questions while I will telling you about AI evolution. So it will be very interesting for me to see what kind of knowledge you know already and what kind of knowledge you already have from your really past. I'm not sure we have someone who has been born in 1950s. So of course, I'm not expecting you to know everything what happened exactly this year, but I assume that the history will be very interesting part to start with. So first of all, among the earliest projects was a number recognizer, which was called Audrey. This number recognizer was created by researchers at Bell Laboratories in 1952. So 50s, yeah, I mentioned here. Audrey could recognize spoken numbers by looking for sound imprints called formants. Formants means different distinct essence of sounds. And that was quite first artificial intelligence, which was helping to recognize those sounds. But after some time, no one did any specific researches which are known today, almost until 1976. And in 1970s, the US Department of Defense, the agency which is known now as a DARPA, founded a few-year program called Speech Understanding Research. This led to several new answer systems, the most successful of which was Harpy. Harpy was created by Carnegie Mellon University in 1976, and it could recognize over 1,000 words. So that was a very nice move and a great step in the AI evolution. And then almost until 1990s, we haven't heard much things about AI evolution. And in 1990, TED co-founder Cliff Kashler invented T9. It's quite interesting to know, do you guys know what means T9? What is T9? What means 9 in this abbreviation? Maybe any one of you heard so. And by the way, if there is anyone from 90s, maybe you guys know what is T9 at all. Did you use it? Did you have ability to use it? Because that's quite a test on your age. We can test your age, because me personally, I had experience using T9 because I was born in 90s. So that's quite interesting also for me to retell today about this history, which I lived quite a lot of years ago. So please write in the live chat. Do not hesitate to write in live chat. Do you know what is T9 and did you experience to use it? And Veronica, please do not hesitate to let me know if there is any messages in the live chat.
Well, not for now, while we're giving them some time. I was born in early 2000s and I still was able to get the T9 experience. Yes, there are people that are acquainted with the T9 and have used them. But it's really interesting question. What does 9 mean in this abbreviation?
Well,
so
T9,
for now, I don't see any.
Well, for sure. While guys are trying to respond in live chat, which I'm really pleased about, and thank you for doing that. It's really making me happy that I know that there is people listening the live session today. T9 abbreviation means text on 9 keys. So generally, that was, you remember your old type phones, which had these keys or buttons, and 9 keys. That's generally those buttons which we had to type, and in each key it was a specific amount of letters which was hidden behind. So T9 is quite interesting thing. Instead of multiple taps, predictive text input displays words with a single keystroke. So it means that as T9 becomes familiar with words and phrases commonly used in textual text, they become matched in order or frequency. And that was very smart. So T9 worked in which manner? You shouldn't type many times on each button. For example, you want a letter B, you have to click on the number 1, for example, 2 times. And if you want a letter K, you have to click on another number like 3 times. So this is not so hard because of T9, because T9 helped just to use each key once, and it was understanding by amount of clicks you did on different buttons that generally what kind of word might be hidden behind this. So you click, for example, you want to write any specific word, you shouldn't multiple click on each button, you just click once, but you just do it quite fast in order the T9 understands and verify that it is one specific word and give you the textual text. So they become kind of a match with your typings. It was very interesting, and later on, it was something which totally changed everything. Of course, AI was very famous in 2000s, but something which changed our working processes a lot, it was AI evolution in 2017. ChatGPT appears in 2017. Does anyone knows what GPT means and why we have GPT abbreviation here? If you guys know about it, please as well, do not hesitate to send your replies in the live chat and Veronica will read it for us. I mean, ChatGPT chat, it's clear, yeah? It's communication tool. But what is GPT? How it appeared? Why GPT? It was a very famous question, but there is also a very easy answer. And maybe while you are trying to write your responses in the live chat, I will also join and respond on it. ChatGPT, it's a generative pre-trained transformer language model. So the first GPT model, GPT number one, was introduced by OpenAI in 2017. It contained 117 million parameters and was pre-trained on a large array of textual data. The model was trained using an unsupervised learning techniques where it was not given any specific tasks other than predicting the next word in a sentence. So first it was just predicting next word in a sentence. Where you could find it, I just remind you, maybe when you are sending an email, I don't know if it's in all computers, but I have it in my MacBook, so maybe it's also used in any other computers as well. I know when I'm writing email or writing some text in my notes, and sometimes just artificial intelligence inside the system is giving me the next word. For example, I'm writing, please see files, and then it's coming the word attached, which is kind of a proposition for me to use this word because check the files attached, yeah, which might be quite logical word in this sentence. So that's the first version of GPT model. But of course, the world was very active in all the updates and news. So the model was trained using a very interesting, groundbreaking, because it could produce coherent sentence and even paragraphs that were almost indistinguishable from human writing was also recognized by GPT. But that's not all. GPT-3 and GPT-4. That's something which appears a bit later. So let's try to see what is the general difference between ChatGPT3 and ChatGPT4. Just want to highlight here that ChatGPT3, first of all, it's a free version. Hopefully you guys know it. And if you are using it, most likely you started with the ChatGPT3. But some of you might know that ChatGPT4, it's already the version which is paid. You cannot use it for free. It's quite more smart than ChatGPT3, but still ChatGPT3 is a really good tool for using it. And I've been asked it recently, do we need as project managers ChatGPT4 instead of ChatGPT3? And my answer was, I'm not really sure we need to spend money on ChatGPT4 for the moment, specifically for our working activities, but there is a chance it might be very useful. So let's have some comparison. First of all, the main 5 differences between ChatGPT and ChatGPT3 and ChatGPT4. First of all, it's understanding images. So ChatGPT4 can understand images. During the presentation on the new version of AI, ChatGPT was given a photo with the several products, and not only recognized them, but also offered a recipe for their use. And also, according to the developers, artificial intelligence is able to understand even memes, explaining why they are funny. So if you guys like this kind of tools to be used, if you like graphics, if you like different images recognitions, you can use ChatGPT4 instead of ChatGPT3. What else? Ability to work with long texts. The ChatGPT4 received larger memory that allows you to store more than 65,000 words. If you noticed, when you are communicating with ChatGPT3, it's quite limited amount of symbols which you're receiving from ChatGPT as a response. And as also you're quite limited with the sending messages with some specific amount. So ChatGPT4 is giving us ability to work with larger texts, and this helps us to use and to create larger texts to the contrary, to summarize them. And another benefit is improved understanding of context. This makes it possible to receive answers that resembles a conversation with a real person. So for me, communicating with a real person is always much better. That's why if you want to make sure you are not sound too much ChatGPT-ish, I would say, if I can use this word, because I have heard from one of my colleagues that this text it's very ChatGPT-ish. I was like, okay, strange word, but okay. So if you want to quite hide that you are using artificial intelligence, ChatGPT may be a better solution. The fourth version, I mean. Difficulty manipulating GPT-4. In recent years, AI has been learning to correctly answer users' not quite correct questions. This allows its new version to handle even poorly formed requests, and it also become more difficult to trick ChatGPT-4 or make it to do a mistake, for example. So that's why I think that manipulation with ChatGPT-4 is quite clearly on what is told by ChatGPT as well. So new personalities. It's also a nice thing with the ability to change the AI personality. You can get more personalized responses. For me, that's perfect. But as I told before, I haven't used ChatGPT4 by myself for my work, and that's the reason I'm here for you to share just some differences in order we will understand whether we need it or not. And the last but not least, multilingual capabilities. The new version of artificial intelligence is able to respond to requests in 26 languages. Of course, it's able, even in ChatGPT3, to respond to requests on quite many languages. But English was always the best for ChatGPT3 because if you are using English, you receive clear and very precise and very correct responses than in other languages, which I also tried. But now 26 languages, can you just imagine if you will need to make a research based, for example, on some countries where you can start with the real materials from this local area of specific, I don't know, African countries or maybe some other countries. Well, I'm not sure 26 languages, including some specific dialects, etc. But I think that 26 languages is quite a lot. So it's supposed to be very useful for work. And not ChatGPT, the only one, or there is also other chatbots exists. I just want to mention, sorry, my presentation is a bit playing around. I just want to mention that besides ChatGPT, there is also other specific AI systems which are available, for example, BART, Microsoft Copilot, and many others. As we are speaking now about more chat communication way, I will compare here GPT, BART, and Microsoft Copilot because that's more chat communication way. But there is also many others which we can discuss. But today's webinar is based mostly on ChatGPT and some other similar tools. So here you have a comparison sheet with many different features which can be compared between these tools. First of all, availability. Most of them are available for free. ChatGPT third version is free and other versions are paid. BART is also free and it's also having paid version. BART, by the way, is created by Google. And Microsoft Copilot, it's also free in age, but also included in specific Microsoft 365 plans as a more extended version. And here in this sheet, you can review, and this presentation will be also added and sent to you. So you will be able to review all those details and you will be able to read about capabilities, strengths, weaknesses of these tools. On my opinion, all of them are really good. I'm a bit big fan of ChatGPT more than BART or Microsoft, just maybe because ChatGPT was my first one. That's the reason I like it quite more than others. I've never used Microsoft Copilot because I'm not using Microsoft tools at all. Mostly I'm using Google tools. That's why BART and ChatGPT is quite favorite tools of mine, but ChatGPT probably is taking the first place in my heart. And this table will be staying with you. You can read, compare for yourself, understand the differences, and it will be also very important for you to choose the one tool which is more useful for you, specifically for the project management activities. and the use of AI in project management. I wanted today to speak a bit more about AI. So first of all, how we can use AI in project management. We can use it for planning, assessment of tasks and resources, for automation when we are organizing and collecting different data. Sometimes for machine learning, we can plan our costs, forecasting, or for example, forecasting different cost overruns if it's necessary. We can predict things, we can do predictive analytics, identifying risks and different trends. We can use AI as a virtual project assistant or AI for strategic partnership. All of this is really useful, and today I want to focus a little bit more about areas of AI application in project management. I will be going all over these tools. Maybe we will speak today a little bit about risk management with the help of AI. I'm so sure you have heard about it. AI can more effectively assess project risk by analyzing data from multiple sources. It can also suggest risk mitigation strategies and help with contingency planning. And I'm supposed to tell that today we will also see how ChatGPT is helping us to analyze data and helping us to mitigate our risks, providing us different strategies. ChatGPT is helping for monitoring and analyzing of project progress. Actually, not just ChatGPT, sorry, artificial intelligence is helping us to monitor and analyze project progress. Speaking about this, I might say that it's really helpful for our work, and it's exactly process when we can discuss and analyze through ChatGPT different results which we are receiving. So we're receiving results, we can provide it ChatGPT. Usually I say we can feed it ChatGPT with those results, and then we can receive some analysis from ChatGPT or from any other tools. As for resources allocation, I'm pretty sure sometimes it can be quite hard to understand what kind of resources you need in which amount. So AI can analyze historical data and project requirements to optimize resources allocation, and this can help project managers assign the project people to the right tasks and balance the workload more effectively. Forecasting analytics, that's for me important part, because we always want to predict things and we always want to receive information about the future. So that's also a nice area to use AI in project management. Task scheduling, cost estimation, that's also quite important part. We try always to help with the help of AI, for example, we can automatically schedule and reschedule tasks, and based on changing priorities, dependencies, available resources, optimizing project timeline. As for the cost estimation, AI can help, for example, estimate costs more accurately by analyzing past projects and identifying cost drivers. And this can help in better budgeting and resource planning as well. Document management, as well, AI can automate document categorization, indexing, searching, making it easier to find and share important project documentation and project team information. It can help you with the improving communication. AI-driven chatbots or virtual assistants can improve communication within a project team. They can respond to typical requests, for example, and you can also create letters for communication with clients and provide reports, for example. As for quality control, AI can be used to monitor project results, identify quality issues. And for example, in software development, AI can automatically detect and report code errors. But as a project managers, we usually don't use this tool for checking the code, because sometimes project managers doesn't work with code. Personalized recommendations. AI can offer recommendations to project managers based on historical project data, as I told before, and for example, industry best practices, which is quite important in my opinion, and can help them make more informed decisions. We can also use natural language processing, NLP, and sometimes NLP can analyze unstructured data such as project documentations, emails, chat messages to extract valuable insights and trends. we can use AI for automation and scalability. As for automation, we can, for example, automate repetitive project management tasks, those which are ongoing and going to be often, allowing ourselves to focus on more strategic aspects of our work. And as for scalability, AI can help us to handle large amount of data and projects which we are working at, and can help make it easier to manage complex or multiple projects simultaneously. And this is not it. I know, and I'm pretty sure that you guys are using AI for something else. And as for me, it would be really, really interesting to know what you are using AI for. What is your most common usage of AI nowadays? If it's, for example, ChatGPT, what kind of areas it's helping you to cover, where it's useful for you? Please do not hesitate to write in chat, in our live chat, how you're using it, what kind of questions you can ask. Of course, if it's not a secret, but it's quite interesting to know if you are using it for your work and what kind of responses or questions you are interested to ask ChatGPT. Nika, I hope you are with me here, and I hope that there is some responses, and guys are also going to give me some nice replies and ideas which might be I be using a bit later, hopefully.
Yep, there is one response, and it says writing briefs, for example, yeah, if you're speaking about like documentation, and also rounding out ideas, so like as a source of inspiration, which is, I think, a really good one.
Perfect. Actually, I might be honest with you. Today we are speaking only about project management, but in my real life, I'm using it also for inspiration. And even recently, one of my recent searches, before this lecture, I checked my recent searches. And one of them, it was, what are the best project management certifications on your opinion, and what you would recommend me as a project manager with 12 years of experience? And try to guess what was the reply. You guys know what was the reply? What he responded to me. I will share it later. If you will not guess, I will share it later. So thanks for joining the chat. Thanks for giving your responses. I will continue my presentation. And today I want to speak also about something very, very important, and something maybe not many people already met in their life, but I had a chance to realize it happened just last year with me, but it happened that I realized just last year that usage of artificial intelligence is supposed to be very important in a legal and ethical aspect. So first of all, you're supposed to respect the company's policies. It's important to mention that you should know the rules of your company where you are working, because transparency is the key. And very important story coming from my life. As a project manager, currently I'm working in a company, and according to NDA, I'm not allowed to share the name of the company where I'm working due to the high risk. And in my company, there is a very important rule. We are not allowed to use for working purposes artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT, BART, etc. Why so? What do you think? What is the reason I'm not allowed to use such kind of tools? I'm so sure you're going to guess it, but it's quite interesting if there is a correct response in our live chat today. So please do not hesitate to use live chat. Let's communicate, because I feel like I'm very lonely when you're not sending your messages in the live chat. So please support me today and give me also some messages, your thoughts, share it. Do not be shy, please. So I will repeat the question one more time. So what is the reason? In my company is not allowed for employees to use such tools as ChatGPT or any other artificial intelligence for working purposes, writing code, preparing documentation, or something else. Nika, any chance there is responses?
Yep, and quite a few. Also, people say that one of the area is automated meeting notes. which I think is pretty cool. Data mining, why is it not allowed? I think it's more kind of a question. And
Okay.
because of the security issues.
Because of the security issues. Yeah, I think the first response, it was the reason guys are using it. But the
Yeah,
second and the
probably the
third
previous
seems to
one.
be the current question. Yeah, guys, the security issues is very important. Some companies, I wouldn't speak about mine today, but I will just generally speak about different companies where you might be working one day or now. Some companies, specifically product companies, which are creating some very interesting things, something new, something innovative, while working with the artificial intelligence and sharing some information based on current projects which you are working, might also share very important ideas and can also cause the risks that your competitors or any other people will know the privacy, the secrecy of your product or company. And these non-disclosure items are really important. So I wouldn't lie. Sometimes there is issues when I can use tools such as ChatGPT. I never do it from my working computer. I can do it only from my personal computer. And I'm never using any company information, project related information, etc. For example, it happened with me that I had to write very quick the letter sharing some thoughts with my colleague, and it wasn't related to project at all, but it was related generally to something. So I wrote this message. I understand that it's not so good written, so I put it in ChatGPT and I say, please rephrase. It didn't include any personal information, any security information which must be shared. And I know in this case, I can use ChatGPT as a tool which can help me. But for working purposes, when I'm using ChatGPT, it's mostly to ask him, okay, show me some templates, give me some ideas, offer me this and that, or analyze these two articles and give me, for example, I'm copy pasting information from a couple articles, analyze it and give me the brief, short information about the result of these articles. But it's supposed to be, on my case, something not related to my working activities. That's very important to follow and to respect company policies. What else? Check, don't blindly trust. Critical thinking is very crucial. You should check the facts. You should check it once again and once again. Why I'm saying so? ChatGPT sometimes is not telling truth and sometimes can be wrong. And even it happened with me that I received the response, it wasn't correct, and I was like, what kind of strange thing he's writing? It cannot be truth. And then I Googled it, I found other responses, and then I sent him that you are not right because I found a better reply online. And he said, sorry for this mistake. And hopefully you will also analyze what you are receiving and you are not just blindly trust the system. And that's very important to show that between both of you, artificial intelligence and you yourself, the intelligent one is you, and you are the person who is thinking crucially, critically, and understanding what is important to keep, what is important to remove, what is just some inspiration for yourself, and what is the good result which you can use in your real work. And again, speaking about inspiration, you can boost your creativity, you can replace sometimes your own efforts, but if one day you decide to write a book or to write a poem, I do not offer you to do this because being creative is also a very nice skill for project manager as well. That's why you can boost your creativity, but do not replace your own efforts by using different tools such as AI or ChatGPT or whatever you are using. So hopefully this slide was very useful for you, and hopefully that ethical and legal aspects are as important for your companies as for mine. And if not, lucky you, it means you can use it widely, you can do more things. And some of my friends who's working in outsourcing companies now, and me as well, working before an outsourcing company, what I was doing, I was like, okay, I need to create the website for my client who wants to do A, B, C, D items. Please create the sitemap. create the structure, create the texts for pages, and generally using AI, you can complete a lot of interesting and regular tasks in really best timing. So now I want to move a little bit to my prompts, which I was testing. And today I want to speak about some prompts which I created and sent to ChatGPT. And we will also review responses, and we will try to analyze those responses and how we can use it. First of all, I tried to behave like a very, very junior project manager, and I decided that I need help with the documentation. So I asked ChatGPT that we have a typical internet web shop or marketplace for selling office equipment and different gadgets for PC and laptops. And this marketplace has a common functionality. So I need a project documentation. What I received as a response, of course, I'd be happy to help you. And here is the list of some key documents you might want to consider. And let's analyze. Project charter, will it be useful? Pretty much logical, yes, it might be useful. Scope statement, in my opinion, is useful thing. Requirements document, it's for sure important. Design document might be useful. Testing plan, useful but not right away, but maybe a bit later it will be useful and by testing team. Project schedule, very important in my opinion. Risk plan, communication plan is super important. Change management plan, depending on changes, if they're coming, we will need it. And deployment plan, that's mostly part of work of development team, but still nice to have it. And in my opinion, the result is very good, but what we do in case if give just like such a general response, of course we would go deeper, and the next question might be, okay, help me to create the project charter including such information. And so in this case you can say that the project budget is such, and the web shop will be working with the office equipment and selling specific gadgets, and that's going to help you probably to receive more results and more ideas from ChatGPT. And let's go further. We can also overview potential, I moved too fast. We can also overview the key stakeholders and communication strategies. I hope all of you know what is a RESI matrix. RESI matrix stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed matrix. So generally, it's a matrix which is helping you to, it's a responsibility matrix of your key stakeholders. And my prompt was, could you please show me an example of the RESI matrix and stakeholder engagement strategies? In my screen, you see just a part of stakeholder engagement strategies, but we will still discuss it today. So the response was very nice. It's general because the question was also quite general. The example was, here is a RESI matrix, and here is even the template of the table, which we can open now and see, and we can even copy paste it. Pay attention how nice and good this table is created. But I want to mention that if you will ask ChatGPT, for example, to create for you very specific RESI matrix, not a general one, but very common for your specific project, the table can look a little bit different. But generally, we see the RESI matrix example, and also we see here, we can see that ChatGPT is defining strategies for working with stakeholders, determines the primary steps directed at the main person who are interested in and influence the project stakeholders. So here we can see first step, for example, identify stakeholders, and that's one of the steps how we can work with the stakeholders. We also know that we can analyze stakeholders, we can create communication plan, regular updates, engagements, etc. So it was quite a long response. By the way, not so often I'm receiving so big responses in the same time, but in my opinion, it was a very good response, and it can be used as a general one as well as a more precise with the more details which you are providing. The next one is a project communication plan. Well, here you see the bit different way of the spreadsheet. Did you pay attention that the lines are not actually lines, but it's a letter I, the big I, which is capital I, which is all over this with this beginning of each sentence, but it built like a table. And my prompt was very easy as well. Could you please prepare a communication plan for the typical Scrum team on the project? Typical Scrum team, what it means here. I hope you guys remember the Scrum and what is very common about Scrum. Who can give me the response? What is very common in Scrum related to communication plan? Please do not hesitate to use the live chat and to share your responses now with us. What is the most common thing, typical thing related to Scrum team? There is Scrum roles, Scrum artifacts, and something else related to communication. Who knows what is the right answer? I hope you're gonna give me your responses. I don't like silence in our chat. I prefer to read your responses. Nika, give me some heads up.
Well, not for now, but maybe that's a sign that we all need to revise the topic. So maybe you could help us. What is the most
For sure.
one of the most important parts?
For sure, I will. One of the crucial aspects of Scrum is the Scrum ceremonies, and of course, when you are asking the question to ChatGPT, the typical Scrum team communication plan, ChatGPT understands immediately that Scrum team might have specific ceremonies or meetings, such as daily stand-up meetings, sprint planning, sprint reviews, sprint retrospective, and some other maybe not such important, for example, as a maybe a refinement call, yeah, or sometimes we are calling it also the some kind of discussion with our team, and that's also very important. Okay, let's move further. I was testing ChatGPT a lot in order to be prepared for this lesson. So I asked the ChatGPT overview potential risks on the project. And my question was, could you please prepare for me a list of the project risks at each stage of software development lifecycle, and also preventive and mitigation strategies. I should say I feel like I made some mistake because when I spoke about each stage of SDLC, and as we know, SDLC can have between 5 and 8 different stages, depending on the resources you are using and depending on the sources which you found. You can see that SDLC can be quite wide, right? And we are all know that can be built with initiation, planning, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance, etc. What I wanted to just mention here is that ChatGPT gave me just only one risk on each of this specific stage. And I realized, but do I really need all of them in this manner? And that's why maybe I would suggest next time asking ChatGPT for each specific phase several risks, in order I will be receiving a wider list of risks which I can also analyze. But we can see also that prevention and mitigation is written in a very nice manner. What I like, one of my favorite one, it's planning phase. Risk was mentioned, unclear requirements or scope creep. If you know the scope creep, it's when the scope of work becomes quite big, wide, without even planning such big scope in the very beginning. The prevention to conduct thorough requirements gathering and analysis involving all relevant stakeholders, which for me it's a perfect prevention. And the mitigation, so mitigation, we are using this strategy in case of if the risk happen, it's implemented change control process to manage scope changes effectively. I'm totally agree with all those items which I received, but as you see, those responses are very common, very general, and if we see that we want to receive more details, we can give more information to ChatGPT to analyze your request, your prompt in better way in order to give you more details in the response. Overview of the potential risks. Also, one of the things which ChatGPT provided, I asked ChatGPT to prepare a risk log with the preventive mitigation strategies, and ChatGPT provided me a sheet, which is a risk log or risk register. We can also call it as a risk register, where you can see the risk ID, risk description, likelihood, impact, which is very important item as well, risk level, who is the owner or who is supposed to be an owner, and the status of this risk. And of course, preventive and mitigation strategies, as we already reviewed on the previous response. What is interesting and maybe my favorite part is collecting requirements and transforming them into a technical task. Sometimes some of us, some project managers, are working without a business analysts in the team. And here, the important part is coming. Collecting requirements is not easy if you have never studied for business analyst. And if you don't have a business analyst, you can just ask your ChatGPT to prepare user stories, for example. And those user stories usually also supposed to include the acceptance criteria. And in my example, I requested it for the web shop project. Maybe we are still speaking about the previous web shop project, which I already showed you, the marketplace, which we spoke about. And here we see that it's a user story, which is fully describing the customer journey, that the customer want to be able to browse products on the web shop. And it's in details written how it's going to happen. And in my opinion, the user story is written in a very high standard way. And the acceptance criteria is also covering the main items on what you can see here. And to be honest, I had quite a lot of user stories, but on this example, I just showed you the first one, but it also gave me the responses such as a customer, I want to be able to search for products on the web shop, to as a customer, I want to be able to view product details and products to my cards. I want to be able to view and manage my shopping cart, and I want to be able to complete my purchase and check out securely. And between 3 and 5 acceptance criteria was provided to each of this user story. And I think that's pretty much enough for the beginning. And if you think it's not enough, you can always start the next conversation, and with the next request, next prompt, you can ask to provide more acceptance criteria items for specific user story. And ChatGPT is going to send you more ideas which you find. Estimating the team composition. I know it's not so easy nowadays, but imagine that you already, with your development team, estimated just the hours, the man hours, which are necessary for your specific project. But those man hours are not including specific people and specific colleagues of yours. So what you can do, you can request our total time for development is 9,200 man hour. Could you please make team composition for our scope estimation? And the scope estimated value is very important also item, which we should mention here. And the response is also nice. On my opinion, is not that good. And I believe that this specific task can be handled by a human in a bit better way. But I still see that it's giving you great ideas. So for inspiration, such kind of questions might be useful. And I also see that what is not entered to this screen, it's in my another screen. I see some more details that it's telling me also amount of people who can be used in the specific teams. And let's see the next screen. We can also use ChatGPT for budget calculation. How I did it by myself, usually I was calculating it budget. I was calculating based on resources and based on the risk coefficient. But I should say here that when I wrote the prompt, I mentioned that it needs to be based on average salary in Spain. I decided to make it a bit more difficult. Well, I'm not in Spain now, but let's assume we are interested in average salaries in any specific countries. But please pay attention, the ChatGPT3 is not updated in 2024. So maybe this information is from previous years, and this average salaries is not very new, but our deadline is 4 months. We already mentioned what we need to know, and the did for us. He information that the position totals it's 17 team members needed, and it's also mentioned to me what kind of specialists I need to hire, in which amount, and also mentioned the average salaries. So I might say that, on my opinion, that's also not bad if you need to receive some rough budget calculation. And also 15% of risk, it's nice, but it's not about the contingency reserve, which we are speaking in a previous message, yeah, which we were discussing before, because contingency reserve will be calculated by each single risk separately. That's why this general risk of 15% is also very generic information. And now there is something what I want to ask you. I want you in this chat today to mention me what you see. There is a table with some, I don't know, elements. I want you to check this table and tell me what is the name of this specific tool which is used. And please don't be shy to use our chat and to message me the simple title and the simple name of this table and how it is used. And if you know the response, I'm pretty sure it will be very big pleasure for me and Veronica to read it. And while you are responding, I will just tell that I created the prompt. And as I mentioned, the deadline was in 4 months. It was mentioned in a previous prompt. Yeah, so I tried to make these prompts related to each other. And I asked it to prepare a project plan. And okay, it was a Gantt diagram. So I expected you to give me the response that I'm speaking about Gantt chart or Gantt diagram. And imagine that ChatGPT created this spreadsheet, marked me by each week how long time I should spend on each specific activity. You can also pay attention that ChatGPT think that the length of the sprint of 4 weeks is okay. So we can see that each next sprint is 4 weeks length. But if we mark it that we prefer to make sprints 1 week long, I believe it will also work. And there is also some details provided beside that it's an initiation week 1. It was also provided some information what specific things we should perform during this period. So on my opinion, ChatGPT made it best, and it sounds really very impressive for me that it started building those sheets without us to be involved in this planning, drawing these items. And of course, that's not last, or actually quite last, but not least, correspondence and information transfer on the project. One of the things which we are quite often using is email correspondence. One of the prompts which I sent that our main stakeholders is trying to show the change request as a bug. Could you please prepare a mail to the stakeholder with a possible argumentation? So what did the client? Client requested to make some changes, but for us it wasn't so acceptable, and we wanted to receive some argumentation and receive more details. So ChatGPT created quite nice email, but I assume if I would provide in the prompt more details, maybe the response will be not so general, because in my opinion the response which we see now on the screen, I wanted to make a moment to discuss recent observations regarding the categorization of issues within our project. It appears that there may be some confusion. So I mean, on my opinion, this is quite general phrases, and if we provide more details, we're supposed to receive better results. So what to say? As for my testing these tools, that's pretty much it. But I want to also use some time. I know that we already here with you during 1 hour, and we still have some time. So I want to speak about the prompt engineering, and I want to give some advices today. Creating prompts is important for managers which are working with models such as, for example, ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever you're using, BART, or whatever you are using. A well-written query will help you get more accurate and useful answers. So your most important task is to make the prompt maximized, useful, and to make sure that it's providing you the responses which you fully need. So while you poorly wording your prompt, it can result in unwanted or meaningless output. And of course, I recommend you to read the official OpenAI tutorial on a prompt of query development. And it will be very nice if you guys can really learn it before using, because you're going to find for yourself a little bit of some insights which might change your understanding of this tool. One more important thing, be specific with your request. Try to make your questions or requests as specific as possible. This will help us to better understand your needs, provide the correct answer, and also try to specify what kind of answers you would like to receive, as who and from whom. For example, I, as a project manager, that's already you're showing who you are. I need to identify the risk to the project. You can also identify the name of the project if you want. Or if you were a project manager, what risks would you first pay attention to on a project like? Yeah, that's also one type of prompt which you can use. You can ask him to think as a project manager. You can use important skill. You should avoid ambiguity. You should try to avoid double meaningless or general questions that could lead to misunderstandings. Be clear in your queries, in your prompts, so that the AI can provide an accurate answer. You should be polite, you should be respectful. AI prefers polite, respectful communication. Be polite, respectful in your questions and comments, and AI can even send you a virtual hug. And by the way, it also happened with me. Don't forget about the context. When formulating your request, it's important to consider the context of your problem or issue, and you should provide a brief description of the context to help us understand what you're facing. As we already spoke, for example, on my project, my client requests new tasks to be performed, but we do not have time. Please create the email to explain that it's quite hard to start with new tasks because of the lack of resources, for example. And you will receive very nice results from your ChatGPT or whatever tool you're using. I want to also advise you to be patient. AI is fast, but it can sometimes take a little time, especially if your prompt is complex or requires additional consideration to provide the best possible result. That's why do not wait, make it very fast, extremely fast. And anyways, it might be faster than if you will try to type the same text by yourself. Try to avoid open-ended questions. Avoid questions that require long answers or implicit understanding. And instead, you can try to ask specific questions that can be answered in a very straightforward manner. I think that's a nice key, and it's important to use it. And while you're writing, try to check your grammar and spelling. Maybe sometimes it's better to use your mother tongue, native language, other than foreign language for yourself, if you are not sure about the grammar and spelling, because it might cause errors of the response which you are receiving. Clean and clear texts make your quest easier to understand, and the result will be also better. And I'd like also to take a minute to discuss the benefits and harms of using AI today. So benefits, it saves your time, your effort, and your writing skills. It's also helping you to write good texts. It helps you to quickly adapt to different jobs. In case if you don't know something, you can always consult stuff with ChatGPT. It helps you to correct grammatical errors in order to check your text to verify that your writing looks professional. And sometimes, for example, ChatGPT can serve as a starting point for your AI experience. As for disadvantages, please be very clear here. Chatbot generates inaccurate or unoriginal content that takes time to correct. That's why be very clear that it should be the check for plagiarism if you are going to use the text used by ChatGPT. Besides this, there is a lot of tools which can check whether the text was written by AI or by human. And by the way, those tools are really, really good. So be careful and do not use text received by ChatGPT in some public or unique areas where the text needs to be unique. ChatGPT lacks the personality that employers look for in cover letters. And for example, if you are sending the cover letter for a specific job, it can also cause a lack of personality. That's why I always suggest you to write down the full text by yourself and then only ask ChatGPT to help you with the rephrasing or making it look more professional. Sometimes one of these advantages can be that ChatGPT, as we spoke before, can create intellectual property risk or security risk as well, and it can overlap with the existing copyrighted materials. That's why, for your information, it's things where you shouldn't use ChatGPT or any other artificial intelligence. And good news for all project managers who is here. PMI.org, the Project Management Institute, created PMI Infinity, the Project Manager AI Copilot. It's a nice tool. You can use it in case if you want to create some project management resources or results. Mostly it's based on building different documentation and helping with different things related to it. I just want you to understand that you can use it in the same manner as you're using ChatGPT, but Infinity is more concentrated even for project managers than the general artificial intelligence tools. That's why you can go on and try PMI Infinity. In my opinion, it's also very nice. And as for me, it's a big pleasure that Project Management Institute created this for all of us. Interesting things, or maybe interesting information, which I also should add today. You can use AI tools for company research. Here I want just to mention a couple life hacks which you can use. First of all, important in my opinion, you are going to interview. Imagine that there is an interview in a couple of days and you want to be prepared. And if it's the first interview, it's very nice to research about the company. What I was doing, I was writing that I'm applying to a specific company for the specific role, and please provide me with the key insights about the company, vision, mission, strategies, values, use, development, team, and any other relevant information to prepare for my upcoming interview. And I received quite good results. So I wrote there, for example, it was company Spotify. I asked it like I'm going to apply for Spotify. There is a lot of information, but please keep in mind that if the company was created after ChatGPT3 was presented, so after the last update of ChatGPT, most likely you will not receive much information about this company. Maybe it will not be inside ChatGPT's knowledge base. You can also use AI tools for practice mock interviews. That's a thing which was advised by one of my colleagues, and I decided also to share today. The prompt can be such. I am a project manager. I'm appearing for a job interview for the role of project manager in a company, that would be Spotify, YouTube, or whatever other company. And here is the job description. You can also add the job description. And then you are asking ChatGPT, could you please act as an interviewer and asking questions one by one? In this case, ChatGPT will be communicating with you as an interviewer until you just stop him. And it's interesting results. Try it. It will really impress you, and it will really help you to concentrate. You will feel more confident before your interview. You can also use AI tools to predict interview questions, like generally, just predict. So not communicating, but just ask ChatGPT for the list of different questions which are possibly be provided in case if there is a specific job description in specific company. So ChatGPT can generate a comprehensive list of common interview questions to the role based on the background of the company and the provided job description. In this case, the answers of yours will not be taken into consideration, so you shouldn't respond on these questions, but at least you will see the entire list. But the previous idea I liked more because it's very interactive and you can practice. And we're getting to the end. And I know that in our registration form, it was mentioned several questions by people who decided to apply for this course. So now I will do following. I will read those questions. I will give you some responses, which I think is important to mention today. And also, I would be very happy if you guys will put your questions in our live chat so I can respond it right after I finish with this list. And Nika, she will assist me and read your questions. So please do not hesitate. We are checking the chat and we are still waiting for some activity to be done. So first question is, what percentage of the PM's working time can AI already save and what will it be in the future? I've read some statistics. I even asked some statistics from AI and I wanted to receive more results. But I should say that PM's working time, on my opinion, 50% of time we are already working as a communicators. So other 50% of time possibly might be used with the help of AI. But of course, AI will not fully replace our work, because we are those people who should analyze the results of AI responses and implement them. But we can save some time, and saving this time means that around 30–40% of our time we can generally save by generating templates, generating responses, generating some other activities. And as for the future, I'm not sure it's true, but I've heard that around 50% of PM's working time will be replaced and saved by AI, which means for me that companies might be providing you with more than 1 or 2 projects because you can use AI for some help. But those researches which I read, it was about 2030. So I believe in another 6 years, we are feeling quite safe as a project managers and AI will not attack us. The next question was how to teach AI to predict market changes. I believe that it's not you who is teaching AI. I believe that you guys are just using the newest version of AI and the newer AI you're using. Most likely we are speaking now about paid versions. The more chance you have that it will predict market changes, and it will rely always on the specific period of time. And what also you can add to your prompts, it's a time period of time which you are interested in. Like you can write that I'm living in this time. Like, can you please give me the advice of the some updates in 2024 or whatever, and most likely it will provide you with the information, but the paid versions should be more useful in this time. Can AI harm PMs and how not to abuse it when adapted? Well, first of all, you guys don't worry. Many people thinking that AI will totally replace many professions, and that's, to be honest, true. But in order to work with the AI, we need to know what it can do and what it cannot do, and we have to show to companies our strengths and weaknesses, and we should also provide our strengths in order to not be replaced. But as for the harmful things which AI may cause is the providing you the wrong results, incorrect results, which you haven't analyzed and just unfortunately copy pasted by some reason, and later you figure out that this result is wrong. I'm not recommending you to fully rely on ChatGPT or other AI tools while you are guys using you're using it for, I don't know, budgeting, for example. Double check, make sure that the information is correct, make sure that what you are receiving, what results you are receiving from ChatGPT or any other tools is correct. So try to recalculate, especially budgets, especially scope of work, especially the resources, things which are important. Other things such as risk log, it maybe can be more flexible because risk is things which we are trying to research, investigate, and ideas are always nice to be received by AI. But some things which are mostly related to budget, I recommend to just double check. So in order it will not be harmful. I have two more questions. How can artificial intelligence be used to pass an interview for an IT project manager position? To be honest, this response I already added today, so you can go back to our call and you can also reward this part about artificial intelligence and interviews. Well, for sure, I don't want you to use it during an interview, but for the preparation, artificial intelligence is a very nice tool, and I highly recommend to try it because you will feel yourself very confident and it will be much better and more easy for you. Can you recommend any tools that can improve the technical knowledge base? Well, I'm not clearly understanding this question. It feels like tools can improve technical knowledge base. It doesn't feel like a question related to artificial intelligence, but I can recommend some tools, except ChatGPT or any other AI tools. I can also recommend you to read Project Management Book of Knowledge, and for sure it will improve your technical knowledge base. And this is, on my opinion, the last question. On my opinion, it's a question you can go and ask ChatGPT for it, and for sure you can receive very nice response. So for the moment, I think I'm pretty much done. Do we have any questions in our chat? And if there is any things which I can respond now, or we can finish today early and be very thankful for our organizers to help us to have this meeting.
Well, for now, I think we don't have any questions, though we have two comments for now, which is very sweet, and a lot of thanks to you. The first one is that, Liana, it's a very comprehensive presentation that made me much more curious about AI at work. Thank you for doing so much and for sharing your knowledge and experience. And another comment that, again, it was very insightful, made me interested to understand project management even better, and how to be more efficient. Thank you. And I think that's one of the goals that we actually met, to help people not to be scared of AI and really use it, because I think it can be a really useful tool both in like work life and everyday life. And thank you so much for sharing your experience again, and to really making us feel that it can be used and it's not that scary, and it's actually a very interesting topic.
And thank you guys. Thank you for nice words, and thanks for coming. Thanks, Veronica, for helping me to held this meeting today. I'm really happy that you guys joined. In case if you have any questions, you can leave your questions in the comments in YouTube, and later on we're going to respond those questions. And in case if you have any personal questions to me or Veronica, I think you're going to find us somewhere online. We are here to help you, and we are here to help you to grow professionally. So thanks again, and hopefully it was useful.
Yeah, thanks again, you guys, for your attention and your time. I'm really glad that you made it, that you joined this webinar. Again, please don't forget that you will receive a recording and a presentation Liana used, so you can rewatch it and come back if you need to revise something, maybe to repeat one more time, some kind of stuff. Thank you again for your time, and then I shall see you hopefully at another event dedicated to either artificial intelligence or PM in general. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening, and goodbye.
Bye, guys.